Hey everyone, it's Jarod, Blake, and Jordan from TheMoviePool.com, and as you may know, we do love our comic book movies here. Comic books are filled with one-liners that always stick with fans, and inevitably this leads to some fun and memorable quotes from comic book movies. Sometimes it's just something cool, something you'll be telling to all your friends on a daily basis, or sometimes it's a powerful line that makes the character or story an entirely richer experience. Either way, today we'll be counting down the 10 best quotes from comic book movies. Kicking off this countdown, we're going with The Punisher from 2004. It's amazing how little love this comic book movie gets anymore. At the very least, it's better than that terrible sequel we got with Ray Winstone. Despite some flaws with the story, Thomas Jane actually did a pretty good job making the character of Frank Castle seem like a badass, and no line makes this more apparent than towards the end.
You killed my son.
Both of them.
Now seriously, that's just hardcore. More than that, it also gives a good insight into the character and how his state of mind has changed from the beginning to the end of the film. It's a good example of the character and how Marvel intended him to come off to audiences. It's perfect for the character and thus deserving a spot on this list.
At number 9, we have Zack Snyder's epic adaptation of Frank Miller's 300. We know what you're thinking. There's so many one-liners in this movie, we could have easily chosen one at random and made everyone happy. While lines like
"This is Sparta!"
and
"Tonight we dine in hell!"
seem like obvious choices, we went for a different route.
Captain, I'll leave you in charge.
Sire.
Relax, old friend. If they assassinate me, all of Sparta goes to war. Pray they're that stupid. Pray we're that lucky. Besides, there's no reason we can't be civil.
While not the easiest choice, we went with this quote for many reasons. In a movie filled with blood, guts, and mayhem, it's always nice to see a little bit of comedy thrown in. The line also gives us one of the best insights into their Spartan culture. While it aptly shows their view of death, it also tells us more about Leonidas. More than anything, he cares about his country and keeping it safe, to the point where he wishes for death in order to ensure the unity of his people.
Up next is another Zack Snyder film in Watchmen. In one of the most pivotal comic books of all time, you'd expect there to be plenty of quotable lines from it. While that's true, there's only one that really strikes a chord, and that's at the beginning of the movie.
This city's afraid of me. I've seen its true face. The streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And all the politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper, "No."
Rorschach's monologue is one hell of a way to kick things off. It instantly lets the viewers know that this isn't your ordinary superhero flick. It sets the dark tone perfectly, and within just a few moments you can tell exactly the kind of person Rorschach is. The line is chilling, dark, and an excellent setup for a phenomenal movie.
Number 7 on our list is going back a few decades to the original 1989 Batman film. With all the attention Chris Nolan's Batman movies received, many people forget just how awesome the first Tim Burton Batman movie was. Jack Nicholson portrayed the clown prince of crime as well and gave us this memorable line.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
It's a sentiment shared by many, and if your friends are old enough, chances are you've heard this line come up in conversation from time to time. It's just cool and is one of the defining lines of the Joker character from that film.
Sticking in the past, our 6th entry comes from Superman 2, and we're all of the opinion that this line should be a given with any comic book movie fan. And it comes from one of the Man of Steel's greatest on-screen villains, General Zod.
General?
Would you care to step outside?
Superman!
Superman, thank God. I mean, get him! Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
And we're being a little sneaky here by putting in not one, but 2 incredibly quotable lines. First is Superman's confident line that serves to remind us exactly how badass he can be. But then comes a line that makes every fanboy giddy. Maybe it's the way it's delivered, perhaps it's the simple yet menacing message within it. Regardless, Terrence Stamp's famous quote can be found on shirts, coffee mugs, or just about anything else you'd ever need it on.
Sitting right in the middle comes Marvel Studios' Iron Man. The first Iron Man movie was a whole lot of fun and surprised many people. Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark was a resounding success and gave fans plenty of great lines throughout the film. Here's our pick.
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
It's witty, funny, but more than anything, it's absolutely perfect for the character. Tony Stark isn't your normal superhero, and at this point in the movie, he's still figuring it all out. So when Pepper Potts catches him, it's more fitting for him to spout off a quick-witted comment than try and cover it all up. It shows the trust he obviously has in Pepper, and most of all, we get the feeling he's probably telling the truth.
Number 4 on our list comes from a man whose face we never get to see in V for Vendetta. While most people choose to put V's first alliterative monologue on their list of awesome quotes, we've decided to go a different route and went with a line that happens far later in the film.
Why?
Leave me alone. I hate you.
That's it! See, at first, I thought it was hate, too. Hate was all I knew. It built my world, imprisoned me, taught me how to eat, how to drink, how to breathe. I thought I'd die with all the hate in my veins. But then something happened. It happened to me, just as it happened to you.
Shut up! I don't want to hear your lies!
While his initial monologue is a fantastic introduction to the character, it's at this moment in the film that both Evie Hammond and the audience get a true glimpse at the motives behind his terrorism. We see that his quest for revenge isn't merely about himself, but for another. And it's this aspect that gives the character more depth and an even greater tragic element. In a movie filled with incredible and gripping dialogue, it's hard to pinpoint the best. However, with the impact this quote has on the overall story, we feel V's passionate explanation stands out from the rest.
Hitting number 3 is Chris Nolan's first foray into the comic book universe. Batman Begins jump-started the ailing Batman franchise and launched comic book movies to an all-new level. So it's understandable that this film features many quotable lines from beginning to end. Instead of picking one of the heavier lines of dialogue which evoke the deeper themes of the story, we picked something simpler but no less impactful.
I won't kill you. But I don't have to save you.
This line is important because it shows Batman has fully come into his own and is firmly established as the crime fighter we all know and love. He's managed to maintain his high moral ground while also sounding like the badass from the comics.
Chris Nolan's Batman franchise again makes this list with The Dark Knight coming in at number 2. In a movie that gave us one of the best on-screen villains ever, it's incredibly hard to pick just one line from this film. But since that's what we're here to do, we've gone with a quote from one of the film's most pivotal scenes.
Me, you're garbage who kills for money.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. To them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need you right now. But when they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper. See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke.
It's the confrontation fans had been waiting for, and it's a moment that doesn't disappoint. It's making this list because it's a moment where Batman is confronted with all the doubts and problems with who he is. It exposes his fears and the problems inherent with the lifestyle he's chosen. More than that, it's a foreshadowing of the events to come, and a chilling realization that the Joker, as twisted as he may be, is right.
And taking our top spot at number 1, we have Edgar Wright's visually stunning epic about the world's foremost slacker, Scott Pilgrim. Being compiled from 6 different books, it's obvious that Edgar Wright tried to cram in as much fan service as humanly possible, and he succeeded. With all of the fantastic lines from this film, it was nearly impossible to pick just one, so we didn't. We're going to cheat here and just go with all of them.
Wait! We're fighting over Ramona?
Didn't you get my email explaining the situation?
I skimmed it.
We have unfinished business, I and he.
He and me.
Don't you talk to me about grammar.
He's good, right? Sometimes I let him do the wide shots. When I feel like getting blazed back in my Winnie.
You and her? It was just a phase. You had a sexy phase?
No, why would I get fat?
Bread makes you fat.
Bread makes you fat?
Break out the L word.
Lesbian?
The other L word.
Lesbians?
Is Scott here?
You know what? He just left.
What's up? How's life? He seems nice.
Because I'm in love with her. Was that not clear? Was that not clear?
See what we're talking about? There's just too many good ones that can stick with you. All right, well, that wraps up our top 10 countdown. We hope you've enjoyed our list, and be sure to share yours with us. Until next time, be sure to catch us on The Jump Cut, the official podcast of TheMoviePool.com.